Hey guys, it's Vara, and today I wanted to talk about some more news that we have on the Magic Esport Initiative, though I wanted to mainly focus on the point of view of the pro players because we did get quite a little bit more information. So they had officially announced the 32 players that are going to be invited to the Mythic qualifier that in total get about $75,000 in a contract, and we don't really have much more information on that, but we do know the list of the 32 players that are going to be attending. And first of all, I do want to say everybody that is on this list deserves it. No one on this list doesn't deserve it. Everyone is super deserving, and I love all of the choices. But I did want to focus a little bit more on Gerry Thompson now. Like I said, he 100% deserves to be on this list. I am not actually really talking about him, but more of his past with Magic and professional playing. So, a couple of months ago, at Worlds, he had protested the state of professional Magic. If you don't already remember, I will have that video linked, because I did talk a lot about it, and I talked about his full statement, but he had, protested the state of professional Magic not too long ago at Worlds, and he is on the list of 32 players. I am not talking more about him being on this list, but more of I wanted to really see how much has changed since his initial statement from Worlds, and really see how much the state of professional Magic has really changed, because a little bit has changed. So one of his first reasons for protesting professional Magic was because Wizards of the Coast does not pay players a living wage, and that is understandable. They did actually fix this, like I had said. If you are part of these 32 players, you are getting paid some sort of contract. Now, we don't know how that will work, but you will be, and that is a great step in the right direction. I think that we all wanted Pay the Pros, and this is a little bit of an update on Pay the Pros, and I 100% stand by this. The next thing is Wizards does not promote its players well, and that was mainly talking about they didn't really push players, they didn't really advertise for Worlds. I mean, a lot of people didn't even know that Worlds were going on, and that's just a shame because, such a prestigious event in Magic Gathering, a lot of players didn't really know it. Wizards of the Coast has always been very, very poor at really announcing and advertising all of their larger events, which is a shame, of course, and I don't really see this change. Going through his list in the current state, from when he did protest professional Magic, the first one definitely changed. The first one passes with flying colors. We are seeing that already. But number 2, we have seen no changes towards actually promoting the players, the events, promoting Magic in general. We haven't really seen a lot of changes to that. So number 3 is Wizards of the Coast communication is notoriously poor, and they really haven't changed that either. With all of the information on the esports initiative that they have announced, they still have said, well, wait till the beginning of 2019, we'll have more information, and they've just beat around the bush because they don't want to announce it yet, but maybe you should have waited a couple more months to actually announce everything. So they, of course, have always had really bad communication with not only normal players and consumers, but apparently with pro players as well. This hasn't really changed either. When you kind of think about it, Wizards of the Coast's communication has been awful for years. I do not see that changing anytime soon. It would take a lot for them to actually change these problems with having poor communication to consumers, to players, to professional players that at this point are going to be working for Wizards of the Coast if they are going to be paid something that is a living wage. So that is interesting to keep in mind. So far, we're 1 change and 2 not changes. Next one is there's not enough Pro Tour invites to satiate the player base. As Magic grows, the top should grow to reflect that somewhat. This I'm not going to really comment on if it's changed or not, because they are changing a lot of the structures. They're getting rid of Pro Tours. They're making these Mythic qualifiers. I'm not really going to comment on this because we don't have enough information on it. So this one's going to be a kind of like come back to it in a couple of months, because they are changing so much to the structure of professional Magic. And this one I don't want to make an assumption, because I think that maybe with all their changes, these would be really good changes and it will actually help this issue. But again, I'm not sure. We don't have enough information. Now, number 5 is coverage is still abysmal, and this 100% still has not changed. the coverage of larger Magic events is hecking awful. A lot of the commentators, now there are some great commentators in Magic and Arena and even covering like Pro Tours and GPs. There are some really, really great, you know, people that cover the game, but there are so many that don't have that passion, that don't have that drive, that the coverage is awful, but some of the commentators make it 10 times worse, and the coverage is really bad. The angles over the tables or even in game are really bad. I hate it. I hate it. Even Worlds used a very, very poor format. I mean, I feel like coverage for the game is a lot worse than it could be. This could be changed very simply by doing, of course, recent ban lists and recent formats, which they obviously didn't do at Worlds. Even when it comes to streaming events or coverage like that, they definitely could do a lot better, and they have done nothing to change this. They had done one event where they had completely changed everything. The players had cameras on them. You know, there were like 10 times more cameras, and it went great because we had special commentators. That was 100% the way to go, but it was only that once, and they have not actually made it any better since then, other than in that one instance. So I'm curious to see if they'll change this, but nope, number 5 is still a dud. So we are 1 good, 3 bad, and 1 kind of neutral that maybe in a couple months we'll come back to. And the final one is with people like Alex Bertoncini still playing Magic. Now, this is one of the examples that he used, of course. It doesn't send a strong enough message to those who consider cheating. And he said, I am not comfortable with thieves being allowed inside tournament halls. And this is something that hasn't changed, and something that is probably not going to change. It is a very, very touchy topic when we come into talking about cheaters in Magic the Gathering. It is something that I will talk about more in detail in the future, because I do have very mixed opinions on it, but this has definitely not changed, and this is not going to change. I'm sure they're not going to change this. Unfortunately, cheaters are cheaters, and they are in our game. Whether they've cheated once, whether they've cheated twice, they are still in the game, and this is not going to change. And I think that with this statement, I think that Gerry Thompson kind of knows that, and I think a lot of players that are, you know, more skilled at the game, or been around more in the game, I should say, kind of know that this is always going to be the case. Wizards of the Coast never actually lifetime bans unless something awful in the community happens. But I do think that there is a point where some of these players should be banned and should not be allowed to come back into the game. You know, once you get one opportunity to fix your ways, okay. You get 2 and you're still going to continue doing it, that's not cool. And of course after 3, that's it. Like I have previously said when talking about this, I think that they keep these players around more for a entertainment value. You know, you have faces. It's kind of like wrestling. You have faces and you have heels. You have the good guys and bad guys, people that you want to root for, or even people that are kind of on the bad side that you still want to root for because you like their personality. I'm not saying any of these players are awful human beings, that these are bad players, but a lot of these players that I know that he's referencing shouldn't be allowed in Magic the Gathering, and they should be banned, and they shouldn't be allowed to come back. So we, out of his list, going back through it, there's only 1 change since he protested professional Magic, 4 things that haven't changed, and 1 neutral, like I had said, that we'd have to come back to. Now, he did start with protesting Worlds, and he could have continued to protest the state of professional Magic, but he didn't. Was it because he's trying to work with Wizards of the Coast more from the inside? I'm not sure. Is it because he wanted that paycheck and he just doesn't particularly care about what he had done a few months ago? I'm not sure. Again, I think that he 100% deserves to be on this list. I think he can do whatever the heck he wants, and I think that this is a great opportunity for him, and I love what he did at Worlds. You know, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm just seeing it from a point of view of, has enough changed to stop protesting professional Magic? And in my opinion, no. If I was him and I was still protesting professional Magic a couple of months ago, I think 100% I would still be protesting professional Magic. They have announced a lot of changes, and a lot will be changing in 2019. Actions and words are very different things, and we have heard a lot of words. We have not seen a lot of action yet, so I definitely am very hesitant to go forward, to really think about these issues, because these issues have not changed, obviously. For better or for worse, there are a lot of changes, like I said, in 2019, so I guess that we will have to see really what happens, but either way, I am so glad to see so many great names on this top 32 list, and I think everyone is absolutely freaking awesome. I am going to be very excited personally to watch this. I think these professional players are great, and I always stand by the professional players, the artists, the back of Magic the Gathering, because these professional players give such a good atmosphere to the game. Like I've said, I 100% support the pros, pay the pros, heck yeah, but you guys will have to let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you think that enough has changed to stop protesting professional Magic, or do you think professional Magic in the state of it should still be protested? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you don't, make sure to give it a dislike. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to continue supporting the channel, you can join our Patreon. It is only $1 a month, but I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon.